Can you hear me?
Oh, sorry, I was muted myself. Good evening
Good evening.
and good afternoon, Mr. Anis.
Good afternoon, sir.
How are you today?
I'm very good, sir. Thank you for asking, sir.
Very welcome. Are you at home now or still driving?
Yes, sir. I'm 20 minutes away from my home.
Okay, please be safe.
Yeah, sure, sir. No problem. No problem.
Driving car is more important than a test class, okay? While
Okay.
it's more important to be safe.
Yes, sir.
All right. In the last class, we were discussing constructor, right?
Yes.
Just want to recap a little bit, maybe 10 to 15 minutes. Then we are going to start with object-oriented programming. Okay. Now, we are recapping constructor. So I create a package constructors. Okay. And inside the constructor package, I create a class. And name of the class is teacher. And I take public static void main, just check in. Click finish. Okay. Mr. Jahid, could you please tell me what is comments in Java?
What is what?
What is comments?
I think I forgot.
You forgot. Okay, comments is a trick to unexecute any line of code, right? Or we use it also to not only unexecute, to leave a note for fellow developers or engineers. And when we want to execute any code later, we can also comment. How many types are there? How many types are there in comments? There are two types. One is single line comments, that is double slash, and multi-line comments, that is slash star star slash. The first one, what is Java? What is comment? What is comments? in Java, this is single line comment. We are commenting only a single line of code. It can be code, or it can be statements, or it can be a note. And this is multi-line comments, okay? There are two types comments in Java. Not only in Java, in any programming language, there are two types, but they are a little different. Like in Python, we use just hashtag for single line comment, and multi-line comment is like this. Triple quotation, opening triple quotation and closing triple quotations. Okay, so little different, but the concept is same. Okay, now when we have to write more than two lines, we use multi-line comments. So single line comments is done with double slash, okay? And multi-line comments are done with slash star and star slash. Whatever we write in between, the codes or statements will not be executed. All right. So nothing will be executed inside slash star and star slash. Okay. Clear?
Yeah.
This is interview question, okay? Now, how we create constructor. Now the question is, what is constructor? Why we use constructors for? Very, very important question. Okay, especially if you go for interview for automation position, automation engineer or QA automation engineer or software development engineer in tests, we call it SDET. It's a must question. What is constructors? Why do you use constructor? These two questions, very important. Even interviewer can start with this very question and ask you a couple of questions on object-oriented programming. Then they will ask you about Selenium. If you are super good answering constructors, what is constructors? Why do we use it? there might be very little chance to ask you other questions, because when you describe or tell something about constructor, you cover almost everything. Okay. So this is very important. How we create constructor. They might ask you a question. How do you create constructor? Give an example. How do you create constructor? Do you remember? What is constructor? First answer what will be. What is constructor?
Constructor is called immediately as soon as the object is created from the class.
Okay, but what is it?
It is
Sir?
to set the initial values for the object.
Yeah. Why do we use for? The answer is we use to set initial values. That is answer for second question. What is constructor? Constructor is a special method. Okay.
Yeah, that is used to initialize object.
Yes. Constructor is a special method. We use it to set or initialize values for attributes or fields. Okay. Initialize. What's wrong? I think it's okay. Now question is it very similar to the class? Answer is no. This is constructor, right? But teacher and constructor method teacher resembles, look like very similar. Question is, are they similar?
No.
No. Why? Why? Why no? No. Why no? Because class is a blueprint from where we can create objects. But constructor teacher is a special method. Okay, special method that we use for initializations of values for properties or attributes or fields. What is the definition of method? Method is block of codes that only executes or runs when it is called by name. And methods are created to perform specific purpose, okay, to be done with special purpose, specific task. So it is not a class, it is constructor. And remember, this constructor is visible because we created and we name it the same name with class. But this teacher is method, this is class, this is blueprint, but this is not a blueprint, okay? When you do not create constructor in Java, still there be a constructor created by Java internally, and that will remain invisible. You cannot see it, but still there is constructor, even if we don't create it, okay? So now we can say string name, okay? And we can set the values here. Name equal to Jahidul Islam, right? We can also set the values here. We can declare the variable and define the value. In that case, when we will create object, we have to change the values again and again if we have multiple objects, right? That is why we create constructor, so that we don't need to write a lot of codes. So when we use constructor, we are saving time. Suppose there is integer age, okay, and age is 21. All right. So this way we can create constructor and proceed our coding or programming. Now, constructor can also take parameters. In the last class, we discussed about it. Now, even we can save more time without creating constructor, we can generate constructor. Just right button click here and go to source and generate constructor. Click on generate constructor using fields. These are fields, properties, attributes. If you create 4, it will be visible here, 4 fields. If you create 2, only 2 will be visible. Sometimes it comes unchecked, then you have to check it. Or you can declare like 4 or 5 fields or more than that, then you can check only the fields you are going to use. Okay. Generate. I just click generate. It generated somewhere. You see here. Sometimes it doesn't come here, but you have to look for it. In that case, you can just copy, not copy, cut and take it to its place. Okay. But sometimes it really comes to the point. I try again. Generate constructor with fields. Generate. It didn't come. It comes, but not in its place. Okay. So always you have to be careful, because sometimes you didn't see it, so you generate once again, there will be 2 constructors and it can create problem. Okay, let me try again. Generate. Now it is here. Okay. Okay, fine. All right. Now, what next? Now we can create objects. Now, what is super? What is super method? This is very important question.
Super is a keyword.
Yeah, super is a method. This is inbuilt method, okay, or built-in method in Java that indicates we are inheriting from superclass. Okay. Now, what is this keyword? What is this in Java? This is a keyword that indicates whatever we are using after this dot, then variable, that variable is global variable. Okay, so it's indicating the global variable. This meaning these variables are class variables. Okay, but this name and this name are local variable, local scope, because these are inside a method, but these are inside the class, not inside the method. Okay, now we can create object. How we create object? Question is very important. How do you create object? Who can tell me, how do you create object? Jahid? Anisur Rahman sir, are you there? How do we create object? We create object from class. So we type class name, then we take a variable. It can be anything, equal to, we take new keyword to create new object, then class, parenthesis, and semicolon. Whenever we type equal to new class name, parenthesis, and semicolon, we create object. This is object. Now again, I repeat. In many video tutorials on YouTube, you will find instructors are telling you T1 is object. It is not an object. This is an object. T1 is just a reference variable pointing to this object, okay? And to access all the methods and variables, we have to use the reference variable, then dot operator. All right, clear? Is it clear? Now
Yeah.
we can create more objects. We can create n number of objects, okay? We can create n number of objects. So T1 reference variable for second object is T2. Okay. Now objects are marked with red marks. Why? Because now object is expecting the value for this variables. These are what? These are parameters. Okay. Now name is first name. You can name it anything. It can be Jahidul Islam, and age is 23. For second object, name is Anisur Raman, and he is 25. All right. Now, how we can access the properties, the fields, even if you have any method, teacher can teach. So teach method. Java program. Now, how you can access all the methods and properties of the class? Jahid, how we can access?
Yes.
How we can access the properties and method?
So simply we can type out the name.
Name? Can we?
Oh no, it's like the T1 dot name.
T1, the reference variable, we have to type reference variable, then dot operator, right?
Yeah.
And 1, 2, 3. T1H, right? Same way, for the second object, we can access name using T2 dot name and T2 dot H. All right, very simple. Clear? Can you now answer if anyone asks you, what is constructor?
Yes.
Constructor?
It's a special method in Java that is
Special method
used
in
initially.
Java. And it is used to
Initialize the attributes,
value.
the value.
Okay. What are the differences between method and constructor?
A constructor doesn't have return type, and constructor
Very
needs to
good
be
answer. Constructor doesn't have any return type, but method has its return type. It can be void, it can be integer, it can be string. Okay, what else?
constructor need to be same as the class name, just like teacher.
Yes, but method cannot have the class's name, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, how we can access all the properties and methods in Java? To access the properties and method of the class, we have to create objects, and using reference variable to the object with dot operator, we can access any properties and method in Java. T1, now I can access teach method also, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we need to create object, and then we have to use a reference variable to the object to access method and properties. Okay.
Yeah.
There. Now,
Yeah.
what type of method is this?
Non-static.
Non-static. What is the difference between static and non-static method?
For the static method, we don't have to create object, but for the non-static method, we have to create object in order to access into the method.
Yes, for non-static, we have to create object to access the method. But for static method, directly we can access without creating any
Object.
object. Clear?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Now take 15-minute break, then join again. Now
Okay.
it is 8:10. We will come back at 8:25. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.